Hi, I'm Bree from My Abiding Home, and today we're going to make berry sourdough Pop Tarts with einkorn flour. Welcome to My Abiding Home. I hope you enjoyed this wholesome recipe. Now, I did prepare the dough ahead of time, but the recipe I used is on my blog. I will link it in the description box below. It is sourdough einkorn crust. I also use it for pie crusts and Hot Pockets, things like that. So I did have this in the fridge, so I'm going to go ahead and just try to roll it out the best I can. I have a little bit of einkorn flour here. I'm going to lightly flour the surface to try and make sure this does not stick. Now you can do this recipe with regular all-purpose flour or whole wheat flour too, but I can't guarantee the results. I have not tried this recipe with a different crust recipe, so I'll go ahead and start trying to roll this out. The crust recipe is just a mixture of einkorn flour. I did organic all-purpose. I use Jovial for that. I get it from Azure Standard. And then it calls for whey. If you don't have whey, you can use buttermilk. I actually did use buttermilk this time. I used up my whey in a different recipe and didn't realize it, so that works great as well. A little bit of salt, and I believe that's it. But like I said, I'll link the recipe in the description box below, so you can go ahead and check out that recipe on the blog. Now we're going to roll it out to about 1/4 inch thickness. The dough recipe will make double this. I actually made these yesterday as well, so that's why I only have half the dough left. We are getting close to the desired thickness. And may need to add a little more flour. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle a little on the top. You want to move pretty quickly, whether you're making the dough fresh or getting it out of the fridge. You don't want it to warm up too much. Then the dough will lose the flakiness when you're baking. So next, I'm just going to use my dough cutter for this. You could also use a knife or a pizza cutter. We're going to go ahead and make somewhat equal rectangles of dough to fill with the strawberry filling. So the amount of dough that I currently have here is going to make 2 Pop Tarts. If you're making the full recipe, mix out 4. They are good size, so my husband and I actually share one of these. You should have plenty, but if you have a large family, you might want to double this recipe. So not perfect rectangles, but close. So next we're going to go ahead and dump some berries into a saucepan. About 1 to 2 cups of fresh or frozen berries. Today I'm going to use strawberries, and then 2 tablespoons of honey. Like I said, I made these yesterday, so you want to simmer it in the pan until it's got the thickness of jam. So as you can see here, it's like jam at this point. It takes about 10 minutes to get to that consistency. You're going to put about 2 tablespoons in the center of half of your rectangle. So I have 4 today. I'm going to put it on 2. And actually, I'm going to roll out these just a tad bit more. got them just a little bit too thick. Perfect. You can switch out this fruit for whatever is currently in season. These would be delicious with a peach filling or raspberry. I've been kind of on a strawberry rhubarb kick. I'm sure those would be amazing. Might try adding some rhubarb to this next time I make it. So when you put the filling on, you're going to leave about a 1/2 inch space on the outside so that we can press together the dough. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and place a piece of dough that does not have jam on it on top of the jam-filled one. And then I'm going to go around it with my fingers, push the dough together, and then I have a fork here. I'm going to go ahead and press together the edges. It's okay if a little bit leaks out. You just want to try and make sure you get it tightly closed so we don't lose all of our jam filling when it's cooking. So I just have a child fork here. I'm going to use my son's little fork to press these together. I like the way this shapes it, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. Then we're going to go ahead and put 1 or 2 slits in the top of the dough so that we can let the heat release a little bit as it's cooking, just like you would a pie. I'm going to go ahead and fill the second one now. I'm missing a little bit of dough in the corner, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of fill that in. I just realized that. So they do not have to be perfect. I promise they will be delicious, and this will be something that you'll want to make every weekend. Or it'd be perfect for an event such as a ladies' tea. Alright. Now I'm going to repeat that process of pressing the edges and using a fork. Okay, the next step is optional, but go ahead and beat an egg to make an egg wash and brush over the top. Totally can skip this, but it does help the browning and the texture of the Pop Tarts. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that now. Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and line a pizza stone or baking sheet with some parchment paper. Totally don't need the parchment paper, but it does help with making it non-stick. We're going to pop it in a 375-degree oven for 20 minutes. Okay, so while that's cooking, you can go ahead and whip up your glaze. It is optional, but I do recommend it, especially for a dessert. It's really simple. It's just 2 ingredients, some milk and some confectioner's sugar, also known as powdered sugar. You're going to put about a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar into a small bowl and add 1 tablespoon of milk. And just go ahead and give it a whisk That ratio gives about the thickness that I like for Pop Tarts. However, if you like a thinner glaze or thicker, you can adjust it slightly to your liking, but this really does give a nice, let's see if we can, a nice thickness. So we're gonna go ahead and get those out of the oven. Make sure that the Pop Tarts are completely cooled before you put on the glaze. Alright, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I make one new video every week on discipleship, family life, wholesome food, natural living, and some DIY. Have a blessed day.